So the three of you guys that are still actively fighting are coming off a loss or maybe a couple of losses. But not too long ago, you guys were all demolishing everything that was put in front of you. So you were really at some highs, and now that's gone to some lows. So let's discuss for a minute the highs and the lows of going through, really being at the top and then having that momentum slowed for a bit. Kevin?
Presidente?
Oh, yeah. Anything in life's going to have ups and downs and stuff like that. It just happened kind of, all of us kind of went at the same time. We had that momentum going and everyone was winning. The sport was growing at the same time and these big fights were happening. And then, there's a few setbacks and things, and, then it kind of seemed like it was all happening at once. And that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. It's really easy to, let that, weigh you down. Because, everyone's, having a hard time, and, you lose that motivation and stuff. But, it's just part of fighting. It's like I said, anything life's going to have that, especially in fighting.
But do you guys feel that? Do you feel that, or is that
not
more?
So
is that okay?
No,
is that more of an outside perspective for you guys? It's put your nose down. It's go to work, or do you feel it as a group? Do you feel like we had this momentum going, we had this whole steam behind us, and now maybe there was a little bit of a stop, and what do you do to change that, or is it just not even on your radar?
I mean, I think you definitely notice it. And the more people bring it up, you notice it even more. but it just like a loss, as long as you're using it the right way, it can help you grow that much more in the future. So as long as we know how to grow from it and bounce back from it, it'll be for the best instead of just staying where we're at and just constantly letting it grind us down.
I mean, I look at it fucking losses suck. Period, and every time you lose, no matter if it's controversial, it's a good win, a bad win, you had diarrhea, whatever your excuse is or reason for why you lost, they fucking suck, and you're gonna suck for a while, and you're gonna think about it all the time, and it's gonna make you come back harder and better and whatever. But when you talk about we were all smashing people out, we were smashing people out, and the more people we smashed out, the more the sport grew. And the higher level opponents came, and when you're in the top, you start getting toward the top guys in the world in your weight class, you're gonna lose fights. That shit's gonna happen, and we just gotta keep, move on.
Yeah, and that's really
the next one.
That's really something that there was this East Coast West Coast deal going on, and it looked like that was really settled. That the West Coast really kind of just took control and said, this is where American Muay Thai is really being led from, right here. And so then there was a move up, and you guys were fighting at an international level. What have you learned from these fights against the international opponents? What have you learned that maybe you didn't get a chance to experience when you were fighting mostly fighters on a national stage?
For me, I've been fighting international guys for a long time, but looking back, and the difference between the two is usually night and day. It's almost the difference between amateur and pro. When you talk about fighters here from the States, the majority of them aren't very good, but there are a few that are really world class and can hang with the best. But the majority of them aren't going to be that top-notch caliber of fighter, so it can be good to fight them, but at the same time you can get stuck there and just being that big fish in a little pond kind of syndrome. You're not really testing yourself, you're not growing. You might be winning, but it's against two. What's the point? You know what I mean? That for me, that's how it is. I don't want to fight these guys, and I don't see a reason for us even to be fighting each other when we should be fighting the best out there,
Shawn, tell me about a big win in your career, something that stands out in your mind as a fight that was monumental for you.
Every fight. I don't really have a particular fight that was a monumental fight, because I go in every fight like it's a championship fight. that's my mentality towards every fight, whether I win or lose. I go in with the mentality that this is the biggest fight of my life. So I don't really have a monumental fight that I can look back on and be like, oh, this is a fight that did it for me or anything like that. But at the same time, all the fights are great, man. I look forward to them, and like I said, whether you win or lose, it's all what you get from the fight, and move forward and make the best out of it and get better.
Joe, tell me.
How many fights you got, Shawn?
Professional fights, 21.
All your fights. Amateur.
98 amateur pro.
98 amateur. 98 fights. No wonder you're fucking forgetting which one was which. That's a lot of fucking fights, yo. I hope someday I can put up some numbers like that. That's crazy, yo.
How many do you have,
That's
Joe?
fucking crazy. Like 60, 65 maybe.
And it's crazy that we fought on the same cards, and I don't even remember.
Yeah.
In LA.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mark, how many fights?
You remember that fight? I'm like, yeah, I fought on that. Nah.
How many fights have you had?
Muay Thai and MMA, like 70 something.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's like 60 something. That's boxing, MMA, and Muay Thai, and San Shao, and Kung Fu, and
Karate,
fucking
Bando,
Bondo, Wing Fong, Fing Klong.
Your head cracked open with
No,
the
we
steel
come to
thing and
dance
shit.
battle. Can we just talk about this? Honestly,
I didn't see this dance battle.
we all know the real story.
I'm
I
out.
think it's time that this is the opportunity that we bring it out. Kevin, can you tell everybody how you really hurt your knee?
Chaz did it.
Dance battle.
Yo, we had a dance battle. Yo.
I had a freak dance battle incident.
Are you serious?
I was
He
doing
was doing
stanky
it was
leg.
stanky legs. He was doing fine with the Dougie, and then he went to the stanky leg, and shit just got fucked up. And
It was out of my experience. Right?
that what really happened?
it's a damn shame you got to pull out of a fight, a couple fights, and be out for a year simply because you stanky leg, too stanky.
Dancing is my real
Because you
passion.
stink at the
What's
stinky
up?
leg.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a transition for the Dougie or the Stinky leg.